right, welcome to another episode of LogiCast. My name is Blankakong. I'm joined by Gunner Eos, Zeta Kaiser, and today we're talking about Resident Evil 4, and not the game, but more so some controversy around the game, or around the game's collector's edition. So, just about a week ago, all GameStop pre-orders, in-store pre-orders for Resident Evil Collector Edition for Resident Evil 4, that is, was canceled for no apparent reason.
Nice.
I was one of those people. We're gonna speculate as to why that happened. I think there are two possibilities here, but there's no confirmed accountability here. So the article that we're gonna reference is from a Kotaku article. I know Kotaku sucks, so and all that, but hey, whatever. They report the news in the gaming world, so we're gonna use it. But yeah, this collector's edition was only pre-orderable at GameStop. It was an exclusive to that storefront, and it was just canceled. Employees at GameStop got an email on their GSO thing, and they just were told to tell all customers who pre-ordered it that the game won't be arriving in stores and will be canceled. And apparently all of the online orders are also canceled. So we don't know what the hell's going to happen and how people are supposed to get their hands on it besides paying the $400 to $600 price point or asking price on eBay. So yeah, we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about pre-ordering in general, whether or not you participate in the practice, if you believe in pre-ordering. So this is like a 2-in-1. This is going to be about the Resident Evil 4, but we're going to kind of springboard and talk about just pre-ordering culture in general as far as video games are concerned. So, initial reactions to the RE4 Collector's Edition being canceled. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it sucks for those guys, and I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way, but it does legitimately suck for those people who were trying to get this collector's edition. I mean, the collector's edition for the remakes of Resident Evil, they've been pretty cool. Like the Jill statue, the Leon statue, I've seen them. They look pretty solid. So obviously you're gonna want to keep that trend going with 4, and it must be I'd be feeling some type of way if I beat the scalpers and I secured what I thought, quote unquote, was a secure pre-order, to find out that it's just like, hey, yeah, it's gone. I don't know what you're gonna do. That sounds like a you problem. Goodbye. And where are you gonna go now, other than a scalper? Because you said it was GameStop exclusive, but has it been relocated to Capcom store or other big box stores like Best Buy, or is it just up in the ether?
So right now we don't know. It's still exclusive to GameStop. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to cancel the in-store pre-orders and then repost it online the day of. So it'll be an online-only sale. That's what I think. I don't know that for sure.
You're right.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen because GameStop wants to still sell these games. They have a contract with Capcom.
Yeah, and when does this come out? You can tell I'm very invested in it. Yeah,
it comes out the 24th. So the week that this publishes is going to be the same week that the game drops. So it'll be 2 days from the posting of this particular report.
Well, hey, if anybody manages to get one, put it in the comments because I want to. Yeah,
it's going to be a mad scramble.
They're going to lose if it's online only, bro. Scalper bots. They're just going to destroy the common man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the GameStop website isn't optimized.
Oh, that shit is scuffed as fuck.
I don't know what you mean. It's been optimized since Windows XP.
I'm out here searching for games and none in stock, but then I walk into the store and I see it in front of me. It's like, what?
Or vice versa, right?
Right. Oh God! Don't tell me how many Brooklyn trips I made, and it's like, oh no, we don't have that. We haven't had that for a while. It's like, but I should have called.
Yeah, if they manage to answer the phone.
Well, yeah, that's a different podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened, and it sucks. And we talked about it briefly like in our private chat, just about it. Me and Gunner, and I told him, listen, it's one of two things: either Capcom didn't produce enough, or GameStop bit more than they can chew, and Capcom was like, "No, we can't fulfill that." And I'm thinking it's the latter. Thinking it's GameStop bit off more than they can chew, as far as like
That's my
taking in
opinion on it,
pre-orders.
yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
pre-orders were
same.
up for about 2 to 3 days, which is like crazy compared to, like, let's say Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That collector's edition was only up for like 15-20 minutes in store live. So if you went in, let's say if your local store, your local GameStop or Best Buy opened at like 11, but there were other Best Buys or GameStops or whatever that opened at 9 or 10. The people who live close to the GameStops that open at 9 or 10 had the best chance because the systems were live, right? So if you were just like near a store that opened later because of business constraints, or the mall just opened later or whatever, you were just simply screwed. Like, you were just
That's why I didn't even bother. I didn't even bother with that, man.
No point.
When we get into general pre-ordering, I'm gonna riff on that shit because that shit's it's a self-made scam in my opinion. But we're still on the Resident Evil topic.
Yeah. Oh, we'll don't worry. We'll transition to pre-ordering in general in just a few minutes. But I know Zeta didn't get to respond to like just the overall news of RE4.
Hey,
Not that he cares personally.
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of like it sucks, but I think we're all pretty much in alignment. It's just like GameStop, I feel fucked up bad,
Mhm.
and now they're like, shit. We need to I don't want to say course correct, but that's kind of the only word I can use for it. Is we got to course correct. We got to be like, cancel everything, which is I'm sure something they do not absolutely want to do. Cancel everything, and then in this very small window, we will try again with whatever stock we have, and once we hit the cap, that's it. And they're in way more control of it online than they are, the masses being able to go to store, like you said,
Yeah.
going into a store that's open at 9, go to a store that's open
Yeah.
at 11, and everything in between.
I don't think they want that either because that can cause like real world problems with muggings and just like straight up fights and shootings and whatever the nonsense. Because like people, you only have like 3 pre-orders and 300 theoretically line up for this shit, and they go, "Well, sorry, we're all out of pre-orders."
Well,
God bless those guys that got the pre-order.
I was gonna say not even just that, because everything has to be allocated. So it's just like, right, you get however that fucking divide that up. Like, you get 2, you get 2, you get 3, and it's like, cool. Whoever are the first 3 people in the store, that's it. So I mean, it'll happen, but it'll just happen.
That's I mean, no matter how you slice it, whether they do it online or in store, it's gonna be it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a bigger problem, in my opinion, if they did it in store, only because
got to deal with the masses.
I've seen videos of like, Black Friday at GameStop for the PS5 and the Xbox, and each store getting like 2, and then they have a line of 50 people, and it's like, how do you tell 48 people that they've been wasting their time for hours and they're just simply not going to get?
Can I interest you in a PS4 Pro?
Like, what do you do, right? And I've seen like this mob. Like, it's on YouTube. Like, you can find it. Black Friday, GameStop, 2020. It's a lot of entertaining shit. But I feel really bad for like the employees who have to fucking deal with that shit face to face. Oof, no fucking thank you.
I mean, corporate didn't give a fuck, I'm sure, but I feel bad for the employees that had to call up. Yeah, the employees that had to call up the guys who thought they had a pre-order of Resident Evil 4. I was like, I got bad news.
Yeah.
Like, how many employees were cursed out? Fucking their mothers, fathers, everybody's insulted, and it's just like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm a message deliverer. Don't shoot the messenger. You've heard that. Don't shoot me.
Well, it's going to be even worse because I don't think we've said it yet, or no, I've said it off podcast about how many people know that their pre-order got canceled, so they're going to come in expecting their pre-order, and then
That's also true. Yeah.
GameStop employees gonna have to tell them, we got email from corporate that all pre-orders have been canceled, and you were supposed to actually pre-order at this point, and they're not gonna understand that at all.
No, because it
They
doesn't
would
make
like-
sense. Like,
Yeah,
if I pre-ordered something months in advance, because the pre-orders went live in like October, I believe.
Yeah.
I've had it pre-ordered for 4 or 5 months. I'm expecting that to, it's like, okay, March is coming. Like, I'm expecting this to be here. If I'm getting a phone call from a GameStop or Best Buy employee about a pre-order, I'm expecting it as a courtesy call, like, hey, we're just to remind you this game is coming out this Friday or next Friday. We just wanted to call and remind you and let you know your balance is X amount, whatever, right? But not, hey, your pre-order's been canceled 2 weeks out, and we can move it to the standard edition and you'll get a $10 coupon. It's like, that's not solving the problem. Like, quite frankly, what should have happened is they should have given free copies of the game to all the people who pre-ordered the collector's edition. That would have been the right thing to do.
Oh, that was never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they could. Oh man, like they could do a lottery system and even that has its own problems. But I think I don't know. I think that's the fairest thing. It's like just let RNGesus decide your fate. I mean, someone's gonna be pissed off, but
Right, well, we just make Esoteric roll for all of us, and then we'll all get a copy. So
Yeah, he has the best luck. So,
but it's like I think is what you said, Kong. I think that's gonna happen. It's like before this game drops, they're gonna be like, we have limited RE4 remake collector's editions, and people are gonna lose. The scalpers are gonna be all over that.
The bots are gonna win.
They're gonna win. I think it should be a lottery system with the emails that people pre-ordered, and it's like you have to pay this thing in full. There is no half. There is no 3/4. There is no. You have to have cash to drop on this right now, or we are moving this pre-order to someone else. That way, there's no shenanigans about, oh man, I was able to get it, and I can pay installments on it. I get that's pre-ordering, but if you're cutting it this close, you got to make it as fair as possible. So I think you're right. I think they're gonna put it up before this game releases, and we're gonna see some stories on the internet about angry people and eBay prices reaching in the thousands.
Yeah,
that's PS5 all over again.
That's my prediction, because I'll be honest with you. For a while, I wasn't, even though I pre-ordered the collector's edition. I wasn't sure if I was gonna buy it because I'm still feeling like the sting from Resident Evil 3 remake, which wasn't as good as it could have been.
Reverse baby is coming out. Don't worry.
Yeah, any day now. But yeah, I was gonna probably skip RE4 remake and just wait for like a sale or something like that.
That was my plan.
The closer we got to the game, and like a lot of people were talking to me about it, I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll pick it up. I remember making another deposit on my pre-order because I had the collectors. I was like, all right, let me just throw $100 on it, and then I'll pay the rest when the game comes out. Joke's on me, right? But then, like, the game's getting a lot of positive reception from like the demo that I have not played yet, that I don't plan on playing, and also the fact that I think they pivoted and had the team that developed RE2 remake work on this instead of that third, that side team that worked on RE3 remake.
You could do Operation Raccoon City remake. Don't worry.
Yeah, go make fucking Outbreak 3 or some shit. So it's like, shit. So this is gonna be most likely gonna be a good entry. All things considered, I could be wrong, but it's looking like it's gonna be good.
I've heard good things about the demo too. I haven't seen a playthrough of it, but I've heard it's been well received.
Well, the game's also be linked online, so like, you can
really?
see the full game if you wanted to.
Damn. Okay, the internet is wild.
It's available if you wanna.
Somebody, Capcom employee, was not happy.
Stop clicking those emails, Capcom, please. The Nigerian prince doesn't need your help.
Listen, when the prince needs your help and he contacts you directly, you help, as Michael Scott would say. So, anyway, so like that's only going to raise the price of the collector's edition, raise the demand of it. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
Which really sucks for real, hardcore RE fans. Which I consider myself a pretty strong RE fan. I have a bootleg Jill statue. I didn't buy the real one because I couldn't be asked to spend $300.
Oh, fake fan.
A cheap fan, really. But I was gonna buy this one. I was gonna buy the Leon statue, $250. And it wasn't meant to be, man. This is the universe telling me.
Wasn't meant to be for a lot of you guys.
Yeah,
literal universe conspiring.
So anyway, with all that being said, that sucks for those who wanted the RE Collector's Edition. It includes me. I was gonna put it right next to Jill, but wasn't meant to be. And
good luck, you guys. Hopefully, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. You're up against stiff competition with scalper bots, but good luck.
Yeah, good luck to those who are still going to go after it. I'm just going to get the standard and call it a day. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I think this squarely falls on GameStop's front porch. Like, this is on them.
I agree.
They handled it poorly. If they did indeed take on more pre-orders than they were supposed to, that's one thing. But also canceling, just doing a blanket cancel on all existing pre-orders is kind of ridiculous. Like, I would have just canceled duplicate pre-orders because some people might have pre-ordered too. I would have just done that if I were them, and then, like you said, reach out to those individual not employees but customers and be like, hey, listen, we had to cancel it. We want to confirm it with you first before we put it out in the wild. Can you pay it, or whatever that looks like? Because they actually did that with RE3 Remake. Because RE3 Remake, when it was coming out, stores were closed because of the pandemic. And so they did email customers who had it pre-ordered to see if they can arrange a shipment, right? And so they went to the trouble to do that, right? To secure business, though. And really, it goes down to, like, we want your money less than good customer service.
Yes, we care about the customer.
But the point is that practice has been in place before. Like, they've done it before. So what's different now is there is no pandemic, so they'll make their money one way or the other. In fact, they'll definitely make their money doing it this way by just selling it online, because it's immediate sales versus waiting for people to come into the stores and pick them up, because they may not. Some people may not have the money. Some people may have forgotten. Some people may have pre-ordered it out of FOMO or whatever. So yeah, it's shitty. And GameStop should take more responsibility. The $10 coupon, while it's not nothing, it is definitely close to nothing, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With all that being said, we could just talk about general pre-ordering and what that looks like for y'all. I'll let you guys kind of kick that off.
Do you want to go, Zeta?
I mean, feel like I've said this before or I've ranted about this before about not caring for pre-orders too much. There are some things I do it for, or I just concede because, as we've talked about before, we are filthy RPG players and weebs. So, our lineup is few and far in between as far as going to GameStop and other places and guaranteeing that we get the item that we want. So it's a necessary evil that I have to participate in, depending on what it is that I want. The more niche it is, the more I have to participate and guarantee that pre-order, because otherwise it just won't even go to the store. And I've had to learn the hard way growing up, where just like, we got like 3 in. It's like, oh, as opposed to like the 30, well, not 30, but like 300 fucking sports games you have sitting over there, but you only got 3 of my game. All right, well, I've learned now. So I hate it, but like I said, it's a necessary evil that I have to do, because I feel like as a combination of multiple things, like, we pre-order, what was it, like a couple of podcasts episodes ago, where we was talking about the quality of games and how pre-order culture does not help that, because it's just like you're just already giving your money in advance for something you don't know if it's even going to be good or functioning, for that matter.
When all you saw was a cutscene that says using in-game engine.
Yeah,
doesn't mean anything.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, we've had to put that after the whole was it Anthem? I believe it was
Anthem.
Anthem. After the
Yeah.
whole Anthem debacle, they've had to now be more specific about what it is that they're showing to people. Because before it was kind of just up in the air. It's like it's in there. We don't know if it's actually going to play like this, but it's there. Anthem was the most egregious one where they had to finally be like, no, this is in-game engine, or this is just a pre-made cutscene, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I don't care for it. I have examples of stuff, but I'll wait before I like throw them out there.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So back in the day, when I was super frivolous, I used to pre-order. If it had a collector's edition, I pre-ordered it. Like I didn't even question it. It wasn't about, oh, I like what they're giving. I like the pre-order bonuses. No, if it had a pre-order, if it had a collector's edition, I pre-ordered it. So I was really bad with that. And then I just kind of grew up, I guess, and realized how stupid that was. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this anymore. So I don't pre-order anything anymore. The game police can come after me, but the spot I go to, they get the game sometimes a couple days to a week early, so I'll take that over a pre-order. I'm just saying.
Breaking the street day. How dare
Hey
you?
man, hey, I'm not throwing any names out. You know. The local guy, the local mom and pop, you got to compete some way. And to me, that's way better than getting a fucking sticker or half a soundtrack, because they don't even give you the full soundtrack nowadays. They give you a sample soundtrack. So it's like, okay, thanks. Anyway, so I don't pre-order anything anymore. Because Zeta brought it up. It's like I don't believe in pre-ordering the idea of the game. So I'm not gonna drop money when I don't know enough about it, because you could show me all the fanciest cutscenes in the world. When it comes down to actual gameplay, I might despise the game. And now I have to go to a GameStop and go, hey, can I just cancel that pre-order because I saw the latest fucking trailer for that shit and I'm not feeling it. So yeah, I don't pre-order anymore. I don't like the idea of pre-ordering. And now pre-orders have, God, since digital has been taking over, now we start pre-ordering the physical copy. We make that the fucking bait on the hook, and it's like, oh, great. So now, not only have to I go to Zeta's point, I have to pre-order because stores might get like 3 copies. I now have to pre-order from this specific website because they're the only ones getting a physical copy of this niche game that I want. So it's like fucking triple-edged swords going on here. And it's just like I don't have time. I do have the time to do it. I just do not have I don't have the patience, and I do not want to reward that type of system. So there are a lot of pre-orders that I could do, but I don't want to participate in that. That's why Tears of the Kingdom, someone needs to make that fucking game so I could just stop talking about it. Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild 2. Just be lazy. I don't know why you gotta make it a different fucking title. Breath of the Wild 2. I didn't even try because I knew it was a lost cause. And Kong just hit me with the hard facts. Yeah, it was a lost cause. I had no shot in hell of fucking pre-ordering that game. None. That shit was gone by the time I walked out of my building.
And what sucks about that is that you could pre-order the game itself, like you said with Resident Evil, you could pre-order that months in advance, because I did pre-order it months in advance. I want to say probably a year in advance. I don't remember when exactly I did it. And then the last Nintendo Direct, like, oh, by the way, not that we definitely wasn't going to do this, but we've now decided that we're going to make a collector's edition, and you have all of 10 minutes to get it. It's like, oh, thanks.
I know why they do that, because we want to make sure this $200 collector's sells out instantly. Like, at the end of the day, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Capcom, all of them, they don't give a fuck if a scalper bought it or a fan bought it, as long as it's bought. Yeah, so... Yeah.
But they could, at least for Nintendo's case, because, again, like, the last one had a collector's edition, so there was no way that there wasn't going to be one for this one. Or there's no reason as to why they waited this long.
Yeah, I agree. FOMO. Nope. Like artificial scarcity, FOMO. Yeah, that's it. So that like I don't feel like participating in that culture, in that video game like fucking mentality. So it's like, all right, I'll just get Tears of the Kingdom, and you know what? I'll probably get it a week early. Come at me, Nintendo. I don't stream. Can't ban me.
You can't stop me.
So it's like I'll take
We will
that.
find a way.
You know, if maybe there's a guy who couldn't pick his up for whatever reason, and one shows up, and I get my hands on it, awesome. Because I was just gonna put it in my collection. It was just gonna stay sealed. So, you know, I can live without it. I've grown, like I've gotten older to the point where it's just like pre-orders and the flashy. Oh, it comes with this and that and this and that. Oh, all this cool flashy. The statue. It's so great. It's just like, yeah, but I just want the game though. I want the game because at the end of the game, this game's gonna be on sale a year from now. So I don't know. For me,
depending on who you are.
Yeah, I mean, okay, perfect.
Certain closed studios.
Yeah, I mean, a good story is I went with Kong to a GameStop because he was like, "Hey, there's a collector's edition for a game that you were looking for," and I was like, "Oh, sweet." And you know, thanks to hookups and just it being there for so long, I got it for a flat 100 instead of 130. So it's like I got the collector's edition. It's sitting right next to me in its plastic, 100% pristine, and I got it a couple months after the game came out. Now this was also for a super niche visual novel style game, so it wasn't exactly on the same level as, you know, Tears of the Kingdom, but whatever, it's a collector's edition for me, so I'll take it. But that's the only way I'm walking out with a collector's edition. If I can get it at a discount a year or two after the game drops. Realistically, that's not going to be most collector's editions. But yeah, I went off on a chain. I don't pre-order. I'm not a fan of pre-ordering. If that's your thing, I understand it's the nature of the beast. Companies do this very specifically for a very specific reason. But I've stopped caring. Realistically.
Yeah, so for me, I don't pre-order mainstream stuff. I mean, I did pre-order RE4 Collectors, but I only did it because it was the collector's edition. I knew it was going to be limited quantity. But if I do pre-order, I only pre-order indie games because that's really what I buy these days. And those games tend to not get a lot of allocation because they're not mainstream games. So I've got a bunch of pre-orders for like a bunch of $30 and $40 games that are coming out this spring. So I have that stuff pre-ordered to ensure that it comes. But even then, like I forget the name of the game that I pre-ordered a few weeks ago that was supposed to come out last week. Damn, it was something Chronicle. Me and Gunnar were watching gameplay of it, and it was like a kangaroo character with like
Illudian,
yeah. So I pre-ordered that on Switch for Switch, and it never showed up. Like the GameStop that I pre-ordered at, there was a PS4 copy that came in, but not a Switch copy. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like,
what?
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for that to come in, so I can
sound
pick it
like
up.
our college friend all over again, where he got the 360 copy of something. You don't remember?
I don't recall.
I think it was for Street Fighter 4, and the GameStop gave him the wrong copy, or was it for the system itself? I don't remember. I just remember he didn't get the right one, even though he pre-ordered a very specific one.
Oh, well, that just sounds like that employee who did the pre-order fucked it up. That's probably what happened. But yeah. So, like, I don't mind pre-ordering. I see why people hate it, because it does perpetuate like it's kind of like early game access, right? Where like games are out but not really, and so they charge people for like this demo basically. And they're still working on the game, and a lot of people hate that. And I understand it, but it's just like, if enough people participate, then it's going to exist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it is what it is, right? You could just choose not to partake in it and just pick up the game when it comes out. But that doesn't really exist for like RPGers or JRPGers like yourself, Zeta and Gunner. So like for you guys, you're kind of like your hand is kind of forced. It's like, well, if you don't pre-order, you're gambling, and if you do pre-order, you're participating in the shit that you hate.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it is
either
the true
way,
catch-22.
yeah, either way, you're doing something that you don't care for or don't care to do. But
Yeah.
at that point, you got to weigh the options. Like, do I want to gamble it or do I really want the game? So I don't know. For me, it's like the money I can always, at least with GameStop, and I think Best Buy too. Like, you can always withdraw it, right? You can always cancel the pre-order and then move the money somewhere else, or just take the refund.
Yeah.
So
No, like side point. I didn't mean to cut in. If
That's
you
okay.
if you're one of those people who pre-order digitally, get help.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
get
Yeah, I
help.
don't-
It's like that's a whole nother different discussion because they're taking the full money from you, and then I don't
That's
think.
oh my god! I completely like blocked that out of my head. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a thing you could do.
Yeah, if you
Woo.
pre-ordering digitally, get actual medical help. No, stop that.
Wow, yeah.
'Cause-
You know what? Okay. I'm one of those guys. For one thing, I stopped playing the game, but I did pre-order. I used to pre-order the expansions for Final Fantasy 14. Now, one can say that game is digital only. There is no hard copy of Final Fantasy 14.
Get help.
And in order, hey man, hey, I don't play it anymore. So one could say I broke as some of us in the space says, I got out of the Matrix. So, but hey, that was the only thing I did. It gave you a week of early access, and it was kind of my only way to get the expansions. But
Well, I mean, for MMOs, I guess that would have to be the forced exception because there's really nothing else you could do. Even if you had it physical, once the servers go down, you just have a disc.
I mean, let's be real. Most modern PCs don't even have a disk drive anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, I don't want to out myself, but certain websites, their way of giving you a physical is to give you a USB drive with the game on it.
I
So-
mean, that's something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of. It's like this is the best we can do. Do not lose
Yeah.
this USB.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, don't lose it. Don't accidentally give it to somebody else because there may be questionable things on here. Just this is your physical for all intents purposes.
I mean, work with what you got. Okay.
Yeah.
But
But-
yeah, oh man, yeah, I forgot about that whole pre-ordering digital stuff. That's
Yep.
It's crazy.
And then you may or may not get your money back because we all remember Cyberpunk, or most of us remember Cyberpunk, and then how Sony was not too happy about the forced refunds that they had to give.
No, Sony does not like giving refunds. I'm like, no, you're good. You
Yes.
like it. You're keeping that.
And in general, trying to get a refund on digital things tends to not happen unless you're Steam. But even then, Steam is like you have to like play it less than 4 hours or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, there's a time limit on it. Yeah.
I'm not sure about Epic because I don't prescribe to Epic, so I have no clue.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
either.
sorry about cutting in on that point because it
No
just
big deal.
came in
Nah, it's
into my
good.
mind.
I'm glad you got it out.
So,
These podcasts tend to be therapeutic for us for certain topics. So, but yeah, pre-ordering digitally, I did forget that was a thing. Because it never made sense to me in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna buy it digitally, just buy it digitally when it's available. It's not like it's limited
it's not
quantity.
going anywhere. Yeah.
So it's like
well, unless again we're going. It always leads back to freaking 14. Unless you're 14, and then they have to stop giving out codes basically because they ran out. I'm air quoting even though nobody could see me.
Well,
But
that was more so like because the game, the servers couldn't handle the demand. It was less
I know
about.
I know, but that's what they said, which is just like, why would you ever say that? They was like, oh, we ran out. Like, you give out digital codes. You can't run out of something that you make. That's like the government saying they ran out of money. You print the money. You didn't run out. You just stopped doing it.
Well,
Just say
funny
you have
enough,
a limit.
14 actually does have collector's editions with actual physical
Mhm.
merchandise, and it's you're buying the collector's edition with the game.
Yeah,
I have the first one, Realm Reborn, in my closet somewhere.
I think I have the same thing because I have the certificate. I think they give you it's like an actual event. Oh no, I think I have the one before you because I got it when it was before it was a Realm Reborn when it was just Final Fantasy 14 that god awful game that nobody remembers. Actually,
Yeah. Yep.
I have that. I have that collector's edition with my token key and I think a map of Eorzea and something else. I think I'm almost certain it's a certificate of actually being an adventurer, which are like your character's name on it and whatnot.
Yeah, I have Realm Reborn for PS3. 14 doesn't even run on that console anymore.
Oh God. Yeah.
No. So hey, look at that. It's a digital game that even has its own collector's edition, but I think more people are forgiving of that because it's an MMO, right? When's the last MMO that you know of that has a disc? I can't think of any in modern memory. I mean, I
The
still
last
have my
one would be like Elder Scrolls Online on consoles. That's about it.
okay,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure every expansion has been digital.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I still have my fucking PS2 copies of the Final Fantasy 11 expansions. So, you want to go old school? I mean, I have those, but so I make an exception for that. But yeah, that like pre-ordering something like Call of Duty digitally, it's just like, brother, it's gonna be there. You're just doing it for the fucking
But I don't get the map packs and the 7-day early access or whatever early access they give me.
bro. Do it the day before. Do it literally the day before. You know
Do it
what?
the hour before.
That's a good point because then now I know Hogwarts Legacy did it. They did it. You get to access the game a week early if you pre-order the digital deluxe version of that
Yeah.
game. So you
Yeah.
know what? They're actually making that an incentive for digital pre-orders now.
It makes sense. Again, game companies or companies in general are gonna find a way, and then people are so like, what's the word? Like, fickle is not exactly the word. They're just kind of like susceptible to FOMO. Like, it's like, fuck it, I'll buy it, right? And I'm no different, right? I said I was gonna skip out on RE4, and I'm getting it now because it's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get it, whatever. So it is what it is. Like, the companies are gonna find a way. If they have a product that like people want, or if enough people want it, it's gonna create more want from just FOMO. People are gonna throw their money at it. It's just,
Yeah.
that's just the way the chips fall, man. So
Yeah, I mean that's why, like I said earlier, I just got out of that game. It's like I'm not interested in participating in that particular rat race. I'm like, I'll get the game. If I get a steel book, that makes me happy. It's like, ooh, steel book, because I'm a sucker for steel book cases. And luckily for me, the games I play, that's usually just
The standard, basically.
yeah, just buy it in its initial launch window, and you'll get the steel book. I love the steel book for Shimigami Tensei 5. I was able to get that, and to me, and I paid 0 extra for it. I paid the same price as a standard Switch game. And it's just like, to me, that's more than enough. I don't need all the bells and whistles, the figures, the half a soundtrack, the map, I don't need all that.
You
It's
don't want
just
the lithographs?
not really, not even like for like I don't know, like it has to be a fucking hard. It has to be a really meaty collector's edition for me to even think about pre-ordering it. Like, for Breath of the Wild, the Master Sword edition. To me, that was something worth pre-ordering because you get the game and all the map, and you get a fucking like a miniature Master Sword in its pedestal. And I miss that because again, I'm not on the computer the nanosecond they say pre-orders are open, smashing that fucking pre-order button. By the time I got to the GameStop the next morning, they were like, "Ha, can I interest you in the
Standard?
secondary?" No, I was able to get the other one, the
like
edition
deluxe,
under it.
the deluxe or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
that came with like the Switch carrying case. So I got something.
Oh,
So
okay.
I took it, and what am I gonna do? Yell at the guy for having something that doesn't exist anymore? So,
Yes.
but
That is the GameStop customer way.
But to me, like a collector's edition has to be meaty for me to even think about pre-ordering. And even then, it's just like I cannot be bothered. I cannot be bothered.
Yeah. I'm, like I said, it was the same way, but I have to make the necessary evil of, am I or am I not going to be able to get this, regardless of what it comes with Because, like, as an example, I tried to get, or I forgot to do Tsukihime, and I could have gotten the digital version. I didn't want the digital version. I wanted the physical version. And I was like, oh, I like the freaking, it's the Nasu verse, but I'm going to say the Fate universe because that's what more people know. Already me saying Tsukihime, somebody's probably like, who the fuck is that? Or what the fuck is that?
It's like,
I don't know what that is. So
God bless you.
Yeah. But yeah, that is also, or it's in relation with Melty Blood if you play fighting games and you know what that is.
mhm.
So it's all linked together. So I really wanted the Tsukihime freaking remake of the visual novel and did not pre-order it. I can still get it, but it's not the same price anymore. I did not make that mistake with the remake of the first game, Witch of the Holy Night. I made sure I got that. And while it's technically here in English, it's here English digitally only. And I'm like, I don't want that. And I don't have to worry about upcharge prices. And the same thing will be for the Etron Odyssey collection. I don't like its price, but
Yeah.
my hands are tied because I'm pretty sure I said this before. I was pretty much confident that they were never going to remake the Etron Odyssey games because of they were on the DS and the style of game that it is. It kind of just more or less was made specifically for that system and it kind of utilized the two screens. So I was like, all right, this is just something that's stuck in time. I have the original, so it's not like I can't play them, but I wanted a remake of them of some kind so I could just have them somewhere else and not worry about, the cartridge eventually dying on me or something like that. So I'm getting it. I'm getting a remake of all three. It's going to cost me $70. And it's like, it's going against everything that I want, but there's just I'm going to pre-order it. I'm going to spend the $70 because I know I'm going to go to GameStop. I'm going to want it to be there used or cheaper, and they're going to laugh at me. They're going to laugh at me until I walk out the store because it's just not going to happen. It's just
It
not
really
going to happen.
isn't. It really,
The same
yeah.
thing possibly for the Mega Man Battle Network collection. Been wanting this for fucking years. Finally here. It's not $70 like the Etron Odyssey, but I'm also going to pre-order it and make sure that I get it because I'm probably going to get maybe somebody will sell it back, but more than likely I'm probably going to get the same treatment. I'm going to get laughed at when I come in looking for it 6 months or a year down the line when it's cheaper.
I think anybody coming in specifically for Mega Man Battle Network, they're keeping that. They're not like
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
coming in for that, you know what you're coming in for. It's not like the new Mega Man game or
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So those are the people I have to compete with. So it's like this is what I'm saying. Like this is the necessary evil that I have to accept because it's like it's either I get it digitally, which is just I refuse. I would have to get it digitally because there's still no other option. But it's I either participate or I don't get it, or I go the other route, 5-finger discount. But I don't do that. Law-abiding citizen, I would never do that.
Hey, you can be I mean, it still wouldn't help your physical problems, but you can sail the ocean and get it that way. But no, we don't advocate piracy in this podcast, but we also won't shame you for it.
Yeah, we're a free country for now, so
for now, yeah. So, supply and demand, all that good stuff. Capitalism, ho. Yeah, no. See that, but that's a pre-order out of just being just knowing knowing the demographic and knowing the type of titles you play. Right? I used to be really ignorant to this type of shit. I used to be like, oh, fucking Hatsune Miku, Etron Odyssey 4, yeah, I don't have to pre-order that shit. They're gonna have like 20 of them in the store. And then I got like a real crash course where it's like, nah, dog, we don't get this unless people pre-order it. So if no one pre-orders it, we get no copies at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit. So, now I pre-order stuff to kind of like secure it. And again, I know not everybody has the luxury of having a local store that is guaranteed to have these games. So if you live in like a suburb or kind of a rural area, GameStop is your only option. So I get you if you got to pre-order at your local GameStop because the Etrian Odyssey collection ain't gonna show up in fucking Grand Rapids, Michigan. It ain't showing up there in your little town center. So I get it.
Even in major cities, like certain games are like just really hard to come by, especially complete in box, clean, in good condition at a reasonable price. You're asking for a lot there, man. You're asking for the lottery ticket there. The winning lottery ticket, that is. I remember when it was what was the game? Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where like there was a spell, it was a short period in time where you were looking for that game, and you had to settle and buy it on, I think, Amazon, right?
Yeah, I ended up buying Amazon for full price, so it could have been way worse. But
Yeah.
I mean,
you get the same problem for Astral Chain as well.
No, Astral Chain, I saw that my retarded self traded it in at a GameStop for probably some AAA garbage that I don't play anymore, and I saw it at a GameStop for $52. The box was in good condition, the artwork was in good condition, and I scooped it up, and I had to pay $52. That's not shy from its launch price, and this is 2 years after the game came out.
You were lucky to find it complete in box, because that's something I don't see often in the wild. And like, you're still looking for the case because you have the game, but you don't have the box for it anymore because you traded it for Octopath 1, right, on Switch.
Yeah. Yep. So if you're a GameStop, just don't worry. The game's still there. The case might not be. Don't at me.
So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So like, just to back up Zeta's point. Yeah, I mean, that's a pre-order type situation that I can agree with. It's not pre-ordering based on hype. It's not pre-ordering based on FOMO. It's pre-ordering based on necessity, quite honestly.
That's first world as that sounds.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about video games here, so but
that
I get
fact
more
isn't
first world
lost on
problem.
us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. And Esoteric, he's watching us record right now. He put in the chat, he's like, what do you say? Are you sure you'll get it after the Bako pre-orders? They're becoming sketchy, which is fair. Like I have a recent example of the Chronicle game with the kangaroo. What's the
Eludian? I say Eludian. Someone will correct me out there.
I don't know. I just like it. It looks like a fun game. I was like, this game looks kind of fun. $35, sure, I'll pick it up. I'll try it out. Build my Switch library a little bit, and it hasn't shown up. It was supposed to come out, I think, March 8th or something, and it hasn't shown up yet. I'm like, all right.
I mean, we had this was not it was Amazon's fault. It wasn't technically whatchamacallit's fault, but Esoteric still suffers, I think, with Shredder's Revenge. Because that was supposed to come out whenever that trailer dropped. It was supposed to come out, I think, for the next week, or I don't remember the exact dates, but Amazon messed up. Amazon said it was going to come out a specific day, and it was not. It was supposed to come out I think 6 months later. The digital version was coming out that day, and they had it as if the physical was also coming out the same day. And that was not true.
That digital future, baby.
Yeah. And then I have my copy. I don't remember if Esoteric ever got his, but he is shaking his head no right now. So he still does not have his copy. But
damn, really? That sucks.
Yeah. So that's another example that we have. But this is also coming from Limited Run Games, which is hopefully they go out of business.
Yeah, they've been wild as of late.
Yeah, they've been wild for a while now. So,
but that's a good point. It's like if you put all your basket into resting on your laurels and going, all right, I know I got this RE4 Collector's Edition. It's secured. Heavy quotations nowadays. It's secured, and then it's now vanished into the ether. It's gone. Like what happens if I don't think they're gonna do it, but what happens if 5 gets a remake? Am I gonna now have to what confidence do I have that if I pre-order this 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before the game launches, is it gonna show up at the store and then show up in my hands? I don't know. It's just like unless you go all digital, right? Like the big game wants us to do. If you go all digital, you really have no. You're gonna have that in the back of your mind now.
Yeah. And it sucks for obviously for businesses like Best Buy and GameStop, because now I'm sure there are customers out there who that this happened to, and they're like, I'm done. Like I'm never shopping here again. And that's business that
It's
they
no
lose.
fault on the store.
No fault on the store employees have nothing to do with that, with distribution or whatever. But like, but it's gonna bite them, right? Because in the long run, once these companies start losing business and they're forced to like close locations or cut payroll or cut hours or whatever, that's gonna affect the store employees. The corporate idiots are gonna be fine because they're like, oh, I'm not eating a pay cut. Why the fuck would I do that? Tell these fucking idiots to take a pay cut or raise the prices on products, and the customers pay. They'll pass the buck, 100%. That's just the way it is.
Down effect.
That's really what it is, and it sucks. It sucks for consumers. It sucks for store level workers. It sucks for everybody involved. At the base level, it is.
My conspiracy theory is that this is kind of like a way to kind of phase out the middlemen like Best Buy and GameStop. I wouldn't be surprised if Capcom goes, due to the incident, from now on, collector's editions will be sold via the Capcom store. And Square Enix goes, collector's edition for Final Fantasy 16, 17, whatever, will be sold via the Square Enix store. And everybody just takes their collector's editions and goes back home with them and sells them on their own little digital ecosystems, and just like, okay, cool. I don't have to pay Best Buy. I don't have to pay Target. I don't have to pay GameStop. I don't have to pay none of these guys. Come to me if you want it. That way I can guarantee it. I'm Capcom. I'm the source. I can guarantee you this Resident Evil copy because you're buying directly from me. That's my tinfoil fucking
I don't know if you're wrong.
I don't think he's that wrong, because I think Square Enix already technically does that. Like, we was talking about the Final Fantasy digital. I believe you have to get the collector's editions from them.
I think so. I know for me, in order to pre-order the Windows version that wasn't linked to Steam, I had to log in to Square Enix's website and buy essentially the game digitally. I was buying nothing, essentially, but I had to pre-order nothing on their website.
Yeah, but I think they already do that. Or at the very least, they have certain versions that are exclusive. Like, Bandai for sure definitely does this. Bandai has Bandai exclusive deals, or I say exclusive deals. Like, they have their own, if you want these things, you have to come to us, and you'll only get it from us.
Right. Like, if you want the standard Tales game, you just go to GameStop. But if you want the Tales game with all the bells and whistles and the Nendroid or whatever, Bandai Namco website.
Yeah. As Mr. Esoteric is saying, he had to go to the Square Enix store for the collector's edition for the expansion for 14. So yeah, I didn't remember completely, but I was almost certain that they already do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my 5-head play. I don't know. If you see the collector's edition show up on the Capcom store in the coming weeks, comment here and say you called it.
Yeah, it's possible. I could see that, because it behooves said companies to go digital because they have more control over the marketplace. And they don't have to worry about distribution.
Just digital, just keeping it to themselves. Like, I know this is technically something different, but it's with all these companies having their own streaming thing. It's like, why the hell are we renting it out to Netflix if we could just keep it to ourselves?
Yeah.
And make all the money. I don't know why they didn't do that from the beginning, but.
And if it's a collector's edition of Resident Evil 4 coming from Capcom, I mean, shit can still fuck up. You would think Capcom themselves, okay, we want to produce 2,000. That's it. And there's no type of there's no room for potential fuck up of, maybe, we don't know, again, speculation, of GameStop potentially leaving the pre-order window open for, I didn't even know that until Kong said that, more than one day.
Yeah, it was open
Like,
for a
that's
handful of days, which
that's
is
wild.
unlikely. Yeah, like
Yeah. So that means there was a lot of pre-orders that came through that had no shot in hell of ever being fulfilled. And
Yeah.
Capcom's like, bro, we have like 2 million pre-orders. That's amazing, but it's called the limited edition for a reason. We
so.
only
Fun fact: like when it first came up in the system, it wasn't even Resident Evil 4 Collector's Edition. It was in capital letters, Capcom. Like in the computer, it didn't come up correctly, or they didn't code it correctly. It was just Capcom 4, and it was just like,
Can I get
what?
one Capcom, please?
It's like, I'm buying the company. So like that's how like scuffed this whole thing was, and there was other things going on within GameStop too at the time with their inventory interface, which could have affected this. It's possible, I don't know, but that doesn't change the fact that it's their responsibility to monitor and not have this kind of thing happen, because in the long run, it's going to hurt their business, and it's going to hurt the trust and the confidence that people would have or have had in pre-ordering in the future. And it's happened to me personally, like with the game I just mentioned. Also last year, Wonder Boy 4 or Monster World 4, the remake, was available for pre-order there, and it was scheduled to come out September, I don't know when, and I pre-ordered it and never showed up ever. I ended up just buying it off Amazon, and I'm like, well, fuck, like, I know it's a niche game, I know it's a $30 Switch game, whatever, but like, I pre-ordered it before it came out. Like,
you should at least guarantee you your copy, even if it's
make sure I get it.
Copy.
You know, I got it anyway.
Kind of the point of the whole system.
But it's like, that's the kind of thing that like kills morale and kills like the just the confidence that people would have in the practice. The least you could do is have it for me, right? Like, fuck. So
yeah, I mean, because again, they're limited editions. Most of these are limited editions, so it's in the name. I can't just go to any store and go, oh yeah, let me get that limited edition Resident Evil game. Yeah, that one. They're limited. There's only so many for most of the time regions of the world, like North America, South America, Europe. Like, so pre-ordering used to be the thing that would give me peace of mind and make me go, okay, so now I've solidified I'm going to get this. Let me just work out a payment plan so I can pay for it before it drops. But now, I don't know, man. It's your I'm not even pre-ordering it, and I've lost confidence in the pre-order system. Yeah. I mean, this is GameStop, so one could say that's duh. But
par for the course. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the that's a part of modern gaming or modern consumerism. So, with that being said, thank you guys for a great conversation. I appreciate your time. For those listening, made it this far, thank you for your viewership. Appreciate your time. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Comment down below. Let us know what you think about pre-ordering. Let us know if you were affected by the RE4 Collector's Edition cancellations. That sucks. We wish you luck, obviously, if you decide to pursue it. Hopefully you don't pay more than you should have, or not too much more. But, you know, time will tell. We produce content every week. We do a podcast once a week, every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern when we publish. So subscribe for more content. You'll be notified once we do that, but that's the schedule. We also do 2-minute reviews. We have some new content in the works as well. We're going to try and do some like reaction stuff and just other things. We're going to experiment, try some things. If you have recommendations, we'd love to hear it. You can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we have a TikTok as well as a Discord. So all the links will be in the description down below. Mr. Esoteric, who isn't present for the conversation, does stream on Twitch 2 times a week. His link to his channel will be down below there. So give him a follow and check him out. He streams AAA games, indie games, party games, fighting games. He streams all sorts of things. So definitely follow so you're notified when he goes live. You could also follow me on Twitch. I stream like once every 10 years. So you can follow me whenever I decide to ever go live to play like an indie game. Any day now.
True limited edition.
Any day now. Don't pre-order my stream because you definitely ain't getting it. That's for sure. But yeah, that link is there too. So you can follow me if you want to. And I think that's pretty much all the YouTube stuff, right? So thank you guys again. Appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Till next time.